Hi, small group leaders. We're preparing for June 21st in our series called Follow the Leader. This is for kindergarten, first, and second grade leaders. Thank you guys so much for leading. I know this is a time where we're all trying to adjust to lots of changes, and I appreciate you guys adjusting to the changes we've made to try to ensure safety for everybody. I think that all of you would agree with me that this our little experiment of having all small groups the entire time has been a refreshing change, and we're excited to get to spend extra time together in small groups. Your large group lesson for today is all pre-recorded for you on a DVD. So everything you're used to us doing up front is still there. It's on a DVD ready for you to use as you lead your small group today. In fact, because you're in small group, you could play it more than once if you want to, if that's what it takes for everybody to understand what you guys are talking about today. Our lesson today is called Jesus Was Dedicated. And in this lesson, what we're going to see is Jesus fully human and Jesus fully God, which is what we've been talking about in our entire series. Is Jesus God or is he human? And the answer is yes, he is both. He was fully human and fully God. With the way we see that play out today is in our story, we see Jesus's mom and dad take him to the temple to be dedicated. Now, this is a Jewish tradition, especially for young boys. Usually when boys are taken to the temple to be dedicated, they are also circumcised. And so this was something that Jewish families were used to doing, especially with the young boys. And so they were doing what they do for baby boys, but where we get to see the fully God part is there were two people waiting there at the temple to see Jesus. Now, we're not talking about the wise guys who came to see baby Jesus a couple years later. We're talking about these adults had spent their entire life hanging out at the temple, expecting to see the Savior. Everything God had pointed to said that one day they were going to actually see the Savior in person. And so Simeon and Anna have been waiting at the temple for years and years and years and years to see Jesus. And when he walks through the temple gates and the temple courts, they acknowledge that he is Jesus and they worship him. In fact, Simeon says, "My eyes have seen your salvation." If he wasn't looking for God, I'm not sure that word salvation would be there. He would just say, "Oh, what a cute baby," like the rest of us do when we see a baby, right? He was acknowledging that Jesus was fully God. So that is your lesson for today. You're going to get the chance during small group to talk about what it would take to wait and how that waiting time sometimes can be challenging because we forget what we're waiting for. And then for Simeon and Anna, they had waited their entire lives for that moment to actually see God in human form. What an amazing story to tell this week. Your social activity, I know you guys have been enjoying playing with the dice, and I think some of you guys are getting really good at this. What you're supposed to do is try to roll a sequence of numbers, but all of the numbers have to start with 1 first. So if you don't roll a 1, it doesn't count. So you're going to drop your dice, and then on this one, I got a 1, a 3, I got 2 1s, 2 3s, and 2 5s. That's crazy, huh? So that's not a sequence except for number 1. So I would get 5 points just for my number 1. And so just have fun playing this. This is a way that you build relationships with kids. This is a time filler. This is a way to build relationships and have fun conversations with kids. I find that when I'm sitting playing a game with a group of kiddos, you can hear them talk about things. And it's a great way to get some kids to open up and talk and relate to each other within a small group. It also helps them learn to take turns and to play together and to give everybody the chance to have a chance to talk and be a part of the conversation. Then in your small group time, you have some index cards. And I know you have little ones, so if they can't write their answer on their card, maybe they just want to put a number on there, and then that will help them remember what they thought they would wait for. And so what you're going to do is kind of, if you wanted to, I'm going to put some tape in your bucket. If you wanted to tape a line on the floor, and they could line up on the floor and just help decide who would wait the longest and who would wait the shortest amount of time, and line them all up so they can see where everybody stood on that. So what you're going to do is read out different scenarios, and they're going to write on their card how long they think they will write, how long they think they would wait. Again, that can be just a number on their card. They don't have to write big sentences. Or if you wanted to use the cards to mark on the line where they can put their name on their card, and they could use their card to mark on the line where they would wait. And you might find that some kids are really willing to wait a long time for some things and not a long time for other things. Maybe some kids are willing to always wait. You're going to get to see amazing pieces of their personality. And it's just to help us remember that Simeon and Anna waited to worship God as a tiny baby in the temple. And we can use that as a way that we can look to Jesus in our everyday life to point others to him. In other words, because we are not going to get the chance to see Jesus face to face until we get to be with him in heaven, then we can use that same waiting technique. Maybe they have a friend or a family member that they've been trying to share Jesus with for a long time, and that family member is not willing to accept that Jesus could possibly be their Savior. How long are they going to wait? Are they willing to wait just like Simeon and Anna waited their entire life? They were old people. Do you think that you could wait until you're an old person and see that person believe that Jesus is their Savior? God gives every person every opportunity to know that that he is their Savior. All right. Then your memory verse activity. I've seen some of you guys playing this, and it looks a little challenging, but I'm proud of you for figuring out how to do it. So what you're going to do is read your memory verse, and then you're going to cover up all of the blanks with the sticky notes. And then kids are supposed to choose a word that they think is under the sticky note and try to make a line of 3. And so each kid kind of is trying to make like a tic-tac-toe kind of board kind of thing. Really, more than anything, I know it's kind of challenging because it's not just groups of 3, but if we want for them to learn this memory verse, and what we want them to know about this memory verse is that the word refers to Jesus. Jesus is the Word. Jesus was with God in the beginning, which means he is God, and he was fully human. All right, and then you can pray with your kids and hang out with them until parents get there to pick them up. If you want to, at any point, go outside. I just ask for you to be back in your small groups at the end of the service so that parents can pick them up from their classrooms, and we are having fewer people cross paths and trying to keep everybody safe and well. If for some reason at any point you are not feeling well and you don't think it's wise for you to be there, I completely understand. Please let us know sooner than later so that we can try to find a way to fill in for you, because we have had kids in each group every week. Also, something to note, all of you will have your very own small group room. And so everything you need for your small group will be in that room. And if it's not, just holler out to us and we'll be happy to get it for you. I look forward to seeing you guys. We'll see you soon.